You don't even go here. Why would you shoot me? All right.
This isn't even your show.
Go another show. Go to some fire show. Is there a fighter show? Oh, in Chicago Fire?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, something like that.
PD, in its name, it is not a fire department.
I know, but they all go together.
I do think the Chicago shows have crossovers.
Yeah, crossover episodes. That's what they do.
Well, yeah, everybody in Chicago knows everybody, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's casual.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like a small police department and a small fire department.
Yeah.
Y'all know nothing about Chicago.
Oh, here comes Tessa sliding into our DMs to tell us what we don't and do not know about Chicago. Let me tell you about Chicago. Let me tell you about their deep dish.
I'm sorry, did your family live in Chicago for the last, 50 years?
I do have family.
Oh, here we go.
Hello, friends. This is Zach. You are listening to the Mistconceptions podcast.
I don't know who this girl is, but I'm already over her. If she wants me to help her, she's gonna have to get these police off my back. I can't believe she shot me. She doesn't even know me. Ugh.
Previously on Misconceptions, Rin's assassination mission did not go as planned. Rin lost control of himself as the super future computer took control of him to kill Deja. A brief scuffle ensued, but in the end, Deja escaped after throwing Rin down 3 flights of stairs. She escaped. Where she escaped to, we have no idea. And Deja also had some strange new powers. One of them being a floating eyeball that came out of her laptop screen. She asked if it had found him, and then it melded into her forehead and she ran away. Meanwhile, the rest of the crew was trying to avoid capture, and they were confronted by a fire marshal with the fire department named Chelsea Cruz. She shot Esther. Esther shot her back. They interrogated Chelsea to find out why she was so dogged in finding them and arresting them and shooting them. And apparently Chelsea thinks that the crew knows where the Rat Pack is. And the reason Chelsea is so obsessed with finding the Rat Pack is that her brother is part of the Rat Pack, and she wants to find him and bring him home. Bring him home.
My heart.
Find rest.
Stop.
If I die, let me die. Sorry.
Let him live.
Man, this is a weird energy we're bringing into this episode.
I am against it.
Anyways, Deja escaped. The crew escaped from Chelsea Cruz, but then they were found by a SWAT team and Chelsea. A SWAT. Yeah, this is a weird intro segment. If you're listening to Misconceptions for the first time, episodes don't usually start like this unless you like it, and in which case you should listen to all the episodes because they all start like this.
A creepy unless you like it suggestion.
Yes.
Unless you like it. The SWAT team cornered the crew in the stairwell of Deja's apartment. That is where we pick up this episode. With you surrounded in a stairwell, without any of your powers, because Bill's sleeper status is suppressing everybody's power in his vicinity. How are y'all going to escape? The SWAT team members are crowded up in the door, and I will remind you that you should make a decision quickly, because this is a tense situation, and the SWAT members are there with their guns trained on you. And you are most wanted people in the city.
I'm going to start sprinting down the stairs.
Down.
Up.
Sure. Whichever way I am facing, I sprint that way.
Esther's gonna start shooting.
Oh, God.
Okay, as you run? Or just where you are?
Probably where I am.
They have like a direct line of sight on you. You're not going to take cover or anything?
I have a direct line of sight on them.
You sure do. All right. Bill and Ren. I guess Ren, you're a few feet below everybody. You would have to run past the SWAT team to get up to the level they're on to keep running up, unless you could devise some way to get past them.
What was the other story tag that I had?
You have the last thing that you have that you made in the super future computer room is a stun grenade.
That could come in handy.
Mm-hmm.
I think we do. I mean, we have to try to escape, so we go upstairs.
So Bill is also running up the stairs with Faye.
Yeah.
Ren?
Okay, I'm gonna use stop pulling back, and because I feel like I'm really screwed in this situation. Well, so you said that I have to. So explain it to me. Is the SWAT team in my way?
Yes. So like the staircase spirals down, and it goes to the first floor, but then there's like a few more steps that go down into like this. I don't know. It just kind of ends on this cement slab, which is a level down. It's not even a full level down. It's like half a level. And you are down at the bottom of that shaft. The first floor landing is like 5 feet above you, and then the stairwell leads up back the way you came.
Oh my god, I hate using this.
Why do you feel like you need to stop pulling back? Because stop pulling back is to use your powers in a way that we have never seen before.
Yeah, maybe it would be more like a change the game, because I was trying to like think about throwing the grenade and like do something to it so it's like supersonic grenade and I can like skirt by them.
You could just hit them with all you've got to hit them with the status. Okay, so to set the scene, Bill and Faye start sprinting up the walkway. Esther pulls out her gun. Bill, what do you shout at Esther?
We need to keep moving.
Esther, do you take your shot?
Yes.
Okay. I think this is a go toe-to-toe, engaging in a shootout with everybody.
I'm gonna use my gun, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll use Daddy's fighter.
Okay. Rin, you said you want to lob your grenade at them. Do you want to... Never mind, she rolled. Wow! Carrie, tell us what you rolled.
I rolled 2 6s. Some might call it a dynamite.
Yeah. You rolled a...
But isn't a...
14 total?
Yeah, but isn't a dynamite not a thing? Like, it's not a...
Yes, you have to unlock a dynamite with a theme improvement.
Yeah.
Once you get 3 attention, every theme like has a make this theme dynamite, and you don't have that yet. So you were going toe to toe. You get a 10 plus. You get to choose 2 of those options. What do you do?
Are they on the stairs?
No, it's like the only thing I'm thinking about right now is like the stormtroopers coming in through that door, and like one of them has fallen over, and they're trying to like step over that to get in. So they will have to climb over it.
Yeah.
But they have line of sight on you.
Yeah. I just want him to get just at least a little distracted by homeboy that just got blasted.
Okay, so you're going to give them a status, which is a status of 3. And you have one more option.
And then I'm going to block, dodge, or counter their attempt.
Okay, how do you do that?
And then I'm going to sprint off, I guess.
Okay. So the SWAT team is a collective. They have a size collective of 2. And so that means they get to step down all statuses that target them by 2. So it steps it down to a 1. So you take a shot, and it hits one of them. They falter back, and in this distraction, the other SWAT team members are like grabbing their partner and pulling him back, and it's the small, narrow space for them to navigate through. And by the time they have swiveled their assault rifles back in to look at you, they see Esther up the stairs after her friends. Rin, what do you do? As he has walked away from the mic. Sure, I guess.
How tall is this building? What are we running towards? How many levels are we on?
It is a 3-story building.
Okay.
So you are spiraling up, and the stairwell, of course, goes up to the roof access, and then, there's the second floor door and the third floor door.
As I hit the second floor, I'm going to run in there and look back. Are y'all following?
Yeah.
Okay. What do I see when I get on the second floor? Is it an apartment building? So they're just like apartments lined?
Yes, you enter into a hallway with apartment doors on either side. There are some people that are concerned looking out their doorways. There are some standing in the hallway like, what's going on? Did you hear things? Because now there's been explosions, gunshots, shouting.
So typically in a building, there's not just one staircase. Like there's another fire exit kind of thing. I'm gonna start sprinting towards the next exit sign so I can see.
Okay. So you are sprinting across. The exit sign is at the end of the hallway. Y'all are having to like shove people out of the way as you're running through. Let's go back to Rin in the stairwell. Rin, what are you doing?
So what happened? Did Carrie shoot the SWAT team?
Yes, so she hit them with a hurt 1 status. So like one person stumbled back, shot, and they like grabbed at him to pull him out of the way. And by the time they looked back in the hallway or the stairwell, she was running up the stairs after Faye and Bill.
So is the SWAT team running after her? Did they even see me?
They do not see you. They are currently trying to like crawl through the rubble into the stairwell.
Which I'm in on the opposite side of the rubble.
Yeah, but you are... So the stairs... So they are on a landing and the stairs go down. And then you are like down on that level. So unless they like looked down, you could be very sneaky and try to like crouch underneath the stairs or get out of their line of sight. But they don't see you yet. They just see your 3 companions running upstairs.
Okay. I guess I was thinking that it was me, Rubble, SWAT team. So
No. You're a little below them. You're like 5 feet below where they are. It is a strangely constructed stairwell, I will admit.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm like on a basement floor or something like that below them.
Yeah, basically, but there's no entrances or basement access or anything.
No, it's just like a bottom area.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense. I was like, I don't understand how they don't see me. Okay, so I am going to just hide from them behind the stairwell. Or like hide out of sight, I guess. And so, yeah. So like as they're coming in, or as I guess they're crawling in because, all that rubble that I created, I want to say that I kind of, and I like look at them and you see like as if Rin is like seeing from their point of view, or it's like digitally remade of like seeing from their point of view of like where these people are looking or where he thinks they're looking. And so you kind of see him crouch and like just kind of hide under the shadow of the stairwell that they're coming in on.
Definitely. And you hear the sound of many boots pounding up the stairwell following them, and you hear some doors open as they go in. You wait a few more beats. The sound fades. You are alone in the stairwell. What do you do?
I am going to throw my hood over and walk up the stairwell.
You easily just crawl over. You like peek your head out the door, look both ways. Nobody's really paying attention at this point. And you hop over the rubble and walk out with a group of people that are evacuating the apartment building to see what's going on.
Yeah. And I want to say, like, because I imagine they've already, like, blocked it all off and, like, made police and had the police barriers brought. And I kind of just, like, casually join the crowd that is, like, looking onward and, like, I'm, like, asking other people, like, oh, what's happening? Like, what's going on?
Okay. Definitely. And as Rin blends into the crowd, we cut upstairs to the three of you. As Faye is pushing open the other door that goes to the other stairwell, the SWAT team that's pursuing you kicks open the door into this hallway. What do y'all do?
Keep running.
Yep.
Okay. Going up or going down?
Down now.
Down to the floor level.
Okay. So you hear some shouts and the SWAT members scream for people to drop to the ground. There's some screams. And then y'all rush in, start running down. You go into the lobby and you see there is a police barricade set up at the entrance. And you see it's not a large... Well, there's a large crowd of people outside the building, kind of like, whoa, what's going on? People that have come out of the building and also those that just kind of floated over to see what's going on. And there is a trickle of people going out the front door. And there's like a policeman going like, all right, let's get everybody out. The situation is under control. What do you three do?
Do we have a thing where we can do a flashback that would make sense and then it would give us something?
You may always do a flashback. What do you want a flashback to? Well, I say always. One of you may take the spotlight to do a flashlight once per session.
Flashlight.
What? Flashback?
So I think I'll go ahead and do the flashback as we get out and we see all the people moving and like it's not a ton of people, but it's a panicked crowd, right? And the cops are, just trying to get people out. And I'm going to do a flashback of Javi telling us that we need to think and act differently now, and like we always need to be prepared for whatever situation. And then he's like showing us to wear clothes that is easily like disposable / changeable. So maybe all of us wear clothes underneath our clothes that's like a dramatically different color from what we were previously wearing.
Okay. Definitely. And we have so that flashback happens and then we cut back to the present and you see one of the police officers speaking in and giving your descriptions and like they're dressed in these clothes and one of them has one of them is wearing this shirt and blah blah blah. And like you kind of just quickly, as you said, take off what you have. You're wearing other sets of clothes underneath that are different from the ones you had. You all get a temporary different clothes 1 story tag. Yeah, so y'all do that, and I think you probably see Rin in the sea of faces. What do y'all do?
Is Rin gonna put his comms back on, or does he still have his comms available?
Never picked him up. But you don't know that.
I took it out. It's probably in her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna talk on my comms and say, separate meet back at the warehouse. Is it the
yes,
what is Rin's thing? What is it called?
The secret warehouse?
The meet back at the warehouse.
Rin's warehouse. You're gonna like the way you hack.
Hello friends, and welcome to the mid-roll section of episode 74 of Mistconceptions. I'm your host, David White, and welcome to the mid-roll. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I'm pretty sure I've done that joke before, but it's just so good, you guys. I love it. Anyways, let's get to some housekeeping things. But right before we get to the housekeeping things, I just want to say something. I am recording these show notes before the weekend. You are listening to this episode after the weekend. Well, on Saturday, we will have recorded the crossover episode between Misconceptions and Sins of the Father. And guys, I am so giddy to record these episodes. I have not been this excited to record in quite a while. So I am so excited to record this crossover episodes for Bill and Esther and Faye to meet the kids from Sins of the Father, Rickett, Evalia, Vartash, and Yabo. I'm so excited for these two very different worlds to collide and for this reality-spanning adventure to take place. I don't know what to say. I'm super excited. I have some great ideas, and I know Jackson, the DM and host of Sins of the Father, has some great ideas. He is always coming up with great ideas, so I am so excited to see what our brains will do together, and I hope that you're excited for those crossover episodes as well. I am going to be editing them, as is Marlo, one of the players and the editor of Sins of the Father. We are going to be blending our editing talents together on these crossover episodes, and we're going to put together something real special for y'all to say thank you for getting us to $400 a month so that I can afford to pay the crew of Misconceptions and the crew of Sins of the Father a little bit for the episodes that we create together. And speaking of Patreon, right now we are trying to get to $500 a month so we can give our editors a pay raise, so we can afford to pay Tessa more for the work she does on SideQuest, for Marlo more for the work she does on Sins of the Father, and for myself for the work I do here on Misconceptions. Also at the $500 level, we're going to be releasing an online website. That's right, I really don't know what an offline website would be, but we're doing an online website with info about the show and little cast portraits, and it's going to be a consolidated space for everything Misconceptions Podcast Network, and we're also going to have an online store for you to buy some sweet merch, some shirts, some chibi key charms for your phone and keys and things like that. We're very excited to get to that $500 a month goal, both for the editor pay raise, but also for the online store. And you know what? If everyone that listens to our show gave $5 a month, we would absolutely smash that $500 a month goal, and then we would be able to do even more cool things past the $500 a month goal. And just to let you know, $5 a month is a pretty sweet deal on our Patreon. At $5 a month, you get access to unedited audio of Misconceptions and Sins of the Father a full week before the episodes come out. And let me just tell you, our uncut audio gets pretty wacky and pretty wild. There is a lot of goofs and gaffes that I have to edit out just to make it fit within the time constraints of the show. But if you would like to hear us goof and gaff even more, go ahead, give to us at the $5 a month level and help us get to that $500 goal and have some fun with our unedited audio, but also with SideQuest, a special show just for patrons where myself and an amalgamation of the Misconceptions and Sins of the Father and sometimes out of show guests play some different systems and create some fun stories together. In fact, I think I have a little preview clip of our most recent release involving the Quest RPG. Why don't we go ahead and listen to that real quick?
This is where the line stops. The station's attendant, a man with slits for nostrils and a forked flicked tongue, leers out from the shade of the station's office.
a tin roof awning. No one ever comes to Copper Pines, lest they be running from the law or coming to fulfill it. The glowing runes on the lodestone slab fade, and the rune rail slowly lowers to the ground. The doors to the singular coach creak open as 4 people, the only passengers on the rune rail, disembark.
Stepping off the rail next is a rather tall man who uses his hat to block his face from the serpent rail attendant before walking over and pulling out of his slightly ash-covered pants a small sack of coins and lays it on the table. We were never here.
Well, yeehaw! That sounds like a dang tootin' good time on the side quest show. Well, I better all mosey on over to the Patreon and give that $5 a month so I can listen to great content like the rest of that quest episode and any other really cool shows that David and his friends cook up. Did you like that character? I call him Patreon Pete. He's really gung-ho about Patreon, and he's very giving and generous. That's it. That's his character. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's get back to the episode.
And then we cut from that scene to everybody back at the warehouse.
So, we're all in the warehouse now?
Yep.
So, that could have gone better. Ren, what happened? Where's Deja?
I don't know.
How do you not know?
Well, I don't know if you know this, guys, but I have this, like, cyborg brain, and, you know, the supercomputer wants me to kill Deja. Well, the supercomputer tried to kill Deja, and so there's that factoid.
But what happened? Like, then what?
Then I woke up on the bottom of the staircase with SWAT coming in.
So how did Ren's supercomputer and the supercomputer wanting to kill Deja not accomplish killing Deja? I mean, I know you wanted to talk to her, so how did the building explode?
Well, I threw a grenade, and that happened, and turns out Deja has some, like, lasso thing. Super cool. Brought me from the top of the staircase on the 3rd floor all the way down to the ground, so that was fun. I'm a little bruised up, but it's so awesome. And turns out she has a floating eyeball that follows her around, so that comes out of computers, so, you know, it's super. Here I thought Deja was just a normal human being.
What does Bill's face look like at this point?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'm hearing here.
Bill just hears,
Wah, 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 wah.
Could it be that something at that moment happens to, like, catch Bill's attention, so he looks over to this part of the room right as they say the floating eyeball, and he, like, looks over there and is distracted, and he's like, oh, what is everybody saying? And then the next time
There's, like,
something
a fly
mythical
buzzing around it. He's like,
yeah.
Like a really
swats
loud
at it.
fly.
Yeah.
But yeah, what does Bill perceive?
Maybe I get a phone call or something.
Okay.
I have to take it.
walks away or something.
Yeah. It is from, we have been trying to reach you about your car's warranty.
Oh my gosh. And then I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. And so, like, in that, 45-second window, he says all that, and I'm just like, beep, just like stupid robocallers.
Yeah.
Well, Looks like we're in deep again. What's the next? What do we do now?
I want to commend all of us in successfully getting out of that apartment without being seen. Way to go for everybody following the protocol. Faye is in full teacher mode, like, clapping.
You get a gold star for evading the cops. You get a gold star for evading the cops.
Okay, but we're not home free yet because Chelsea will find us, apparently.
I forgot about her. You make a very good point.
Are you still holding on to her gun?
Heck yes, I'm holding on to her gun.
Okay.
That's unfortunate because now she knows where we are, probably. She has some kind of tracking on her gun.
Faye pulls out her gun and is like, I mean, Faye's an idiot, but she's still not holding it as a gun should be held. Esther, should I hold on to this gun? Do you want the gun? What would you like me to do with the gun?
Ren, can you check that for any kind of like tracking device or something?
Yes. Ren looks at the gun with his scanner vision. Does he see anything, David?
Yeah, you tap the side of your scanner vision. Nothing appears. You tap it again. Seems like your cybernetic lenses are dead.
Yeah, it looks like there's no tracking device on it. All systems are functional.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Ren. So I guess we're good. I'll just hold on to this so that if I need it in the future. And Faye, like, tucks it, and she's wearing, like, yoga pants, so she, like, tucks it into the side of her yoga.
That's, like, clearly visible.
The best idea.
Yes.
Just a Glock stuffed into the waistband of your yoga pants. Okay.
Ren asks, is that thing on safety?
Clearly it's on safety. And
Let
she
me look at it.
flips it to safety.
Yep.
Ren says, I don't think I've ever seen you hold a gun. And not that I know much about holding guns, but I feel like you're holding it wrong.
We should stay focused on anything else but me and my gun currently. Who else would like to say something? Bill?
Yeah, I have no idea what we should do now. I mean, it seems like maybe we should find Deja because she's probably not going to take too kindly to whatever just happened.
You know what? You continue, Bill. I have no comment.
Okay. But it seems like there's going to be a lot of heat on the streets right now, so I don't know how we wait that out.
What was your purpose for going to Deja's apartment?
We were trying to figure out how she was going to play into the future.
Okay. Rin, did you find out how she's going to play into the future?
No.
Are you sure? Did you learned what or who she was looking for?
Yeah, let me look at it for a second.
You remember that she was hired by a woman
Yes.
to look for your old business partner, Paul St. George.
St. George. Yes.
And Paul St. George was your old business partner, but y'all had a falling out. You believe that he hired the hit on you because of your disagreement. But you think that he hired this car to swerve off the road and hit you, and that was, what would have killed you if not for the super future computer's intervention. This woman provided her with evidence from your old business, a hard drive with all the information from your old business downloaded onto it. So whoever this woman is, she is connected in some way, and she hired Deja to look for Paul St. George.
But I have no idea who the woman is.
Nope. But your crewmates do not know that information yet.
Be a shame if they never found out.
It would be, especially since you would never solve this mystery without sharing information.
Be a shame if no one ever knew this ever. For me and the GM. I mean, I did learn that. Well, okay. I don't really know the identity of the woman, but someone tasked Deja to investigate my past. So before my wonderful business that just, went into ruins because we shot Pip Hamill and, the police were investigating me and, whatever, and I totally lost my business. That casual thing. I did have a nice business with my old partner, Paul St. George, and he essentially kicks me out of the business, and I think he tried to kill me. So, or at least ordered the hit to kill me. And so, this super casual thing, but apparently someone told Deja to look for this dude. And I'm beginning to think he's not just a horrible dude that kicks me out of my business that I started from the ground up because we were best friends, but he's also, I think he might be involved with other sketchy things that have been happening in the city, like with the mob. So it's just super casual.
So, who hired Deja?
I don't know. A woman?
Could it be Linda?
She is a woman.
Faye puts her head in her hands and just sits there.
It does eliminate 50% of the world population, but doesn't do much for us besides that.
I know that we're looking for someone who has the characteristics of not being a male and is a woman.
What were you saying, Tess?
We do have suspects, friends, because we have been doing this investigation for a while, and things have to connect somehow.
That sounds really logical, and perhaps the reasoning is not logical.
Huh?
Thank you.
So
No, wait, what did that mean?
no, you just that's when you just move
Yeah.
on and say, okay, so
Okay.
That's really what I was going for. It was more like the male-female thing again, of you suggesting a logical solution to this, and then being or it could be illogical.
Yes.
Let me just throw a wrench
So-
into your thought.
Why do you think that you said that you think that your old partner tried to kill you, but you don't know that your old partner tried to kill you?
Well, it's not like they keep records of their hits or something on the local internet.
But you would know if somebody tried to kill you.
Well, the car did straight up run into me, and then I woke up in a facility that the supercomputer owned, and there was some super futuristic weapon, and there was mechanical cybernetic things in my brain.
Again, Esther looks at Bill to see what his reaction is to all of this.
Yep.
I'm playing Tetris on my phone.
Yeah. You just got a notification to update your Tetris score, and you're opening it while he says that, and it makes this loud noise. You're like, oh. Apparently, I'll just need to destroy Bill's phone to reawaken him to the city.
Okay, well, I shoot his phone.
Okay, well.
Oh my gosh.
Holy.
Does it go through the phone and hit Bill in some artery? Kill him?
No. All right, so
Feels like
Did you
that
actually
city is-
shoot my phone at him?
no, not really.
Okay.
Bill seems like the type of person that just has a flip phone.
Oh, he does. It's canon. That's what we're saying.
Okay, so we've got so many things we can follow. We can look up this Paul St. George person. We can track Deja back down. We've got this Chelsea person after us and SWAT. We still need to find the Rat Pack. We have the gingerbread man that is Pip. Anyone got any ideas? Bill, I'm gonna need you to stop playing Tetris. And Faye screams in frustration that she can't just wake Bill up. And stands so that she can start pacing.
So I put Tetris. I close the flip phone and I concentrate. and I was half paying attention to what she was saying, the half that wasn't about supernatural stuff. And I'm like, well, it seems like Deja knows more, and the George St. Clair guy, we haven't looked into him at all. So those two things could both provide insight or answers and stuff we haven't seen yet.
Ren is like looking at him like this with wide eyes, and he's like, did you not hear the part where she has a giant lasso and a third eye?
What is that fly doing in here?
Well, if we're going to pursue Deja, somebody else is going to have to go because I don't think Ren can see her again.
My eyes still work, okay? I can see things.
Ren, what do you know about this Paul St. George? / you have a very, smart, she side-eyes Bill, computer, so could the computer know anything about Paul St. George?
Well, Paul St. George was my best friend. We went to business together, and he screwed me over. So he's kind of a scum dude. And he tried to kill me, so...
Cool, so...
Apparently he's not cool.
Cool. When did this happen?
I don't know. Before we got together as a crew.
But was this... present time?
No, it was in the future, of course. Of course, it was in the past. I don't know. My brain, I don't remember anything because my brain is not cybernetic.
So, Zach, how many months or years even, what was a time period that the accident happened before you met the crew? That fateful evening at Morty's bar?
I feel like for Ren, it had only been a couple months.
Okay.
And so he was kind of like, is transient a good word? Because he kind of just like was living in the warehouse for a while.
Not the warehouse.
What?
Not the warehouse.
Not the warehouse, or I guess it wasn't the warehouse, but it was like where he woke up. I don't know if that was the warehouse or just like a place.
You did not. So this is the warehouse you woke up in, but you did not find its location until well into season 2.
Okay, so I guess Ren was more just then at his own business, Pascal and Associates, as like a living quarters, and like so like time had passed, but like Ren really is like unsure if it had been 3 months or like 6 months. Like it always hasn't been years, but like several months have passed since the accident and like meeting the crew. So like he really, because of just everything, because he got hit by a car, had a concussion, had all this stuff done on him, I feel like it would make more sense that he like really like his memory is really fuzzy.
Yeah, those months in between you waking up and you meeting the crew are kind of fuzzy. But yeah, so Faye, to answer your question, a few months before meeting the crew is when the accident happened.
This was not Zach to Tess, it was more Ren to Faye of like, Ren is frustrated because he like there was no concept of time because he couldn't tell how much time had passed, and so he was just frustrated that he was like, I don't know, like time had passed, and so he's like frustrated because he like has no memory really.
Okay, could we please use your technology that is available to see if we can track down any of the people we have discussed tonight?
I mean, I guess, yeah. I'd hopefully the supercomputer doesn't turn me into like a murderous cyborg again, but surely, yeah, I think we could use it.
At this point, Bill has started walking off. He's like, I'm gonna go find a place to use the bathroom. I'll be back.
He's so normal and it's weird.
I know.
He like has to use the bathroom.
Right. We have never used the bathroom on this show.
Yeah.
Canonically, Bill is the only character to have used the bathroom in the podcast. He used it at the police precinct in episode 4, and he has now used it again. Nobody else has gone to the bathroom.
So what this means is that Jaime has to use the bathroom frequently while we record.
I guess that is true. I think he did have to go to the bathroom during
needs to go
episode
to the
4.
bathroom too, but she's trying to find a good breaking point.
So, Bill walks away to go to the restroom. Rin, are you taking everyone to the future supercomputer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ren's like, well, might as well, like, he's just talking to himself. Like, might as well just go talk to the supercomputer. And then he, like, talks out, he's like, just like, I don't know, an FYI kind of thing. If my blue cyborg head turns red, just like, don't be near me.
Smack it with the butt of the gun.
Yep. But I don't think it works that way.
But that will be what I try.
Okay. So, Rin, you take them to the vending machine that works as the, access pad. You type in the code. The floor drops down, becomes the metal stairs. You walk down through the lit, futuristic hallway. Faye, are you going with him this time?
Unfortunately.
Okay. So you walk down this hallway, and Faye, you have come to this place for the first time. You see the dark room with no corners, the light coming down into the middle of this empty chamber. Rin walks into the middle of it, and a voice that you have not heard comes from all around you.
Welcome, user Ren Pascal. What do you require?
Can we... First, he just kind of takes a giant sigh, and he's like, can we, avoid the murderous cyborg thing again? It was kind of not a fun experience. Does the computer respond?
Oh, yeah.
Ren Pascal, you have been equipped and modified for a singular purpose. When you refused to adhere to your programming, I had no choice but to take manual control of your hardware. However, even with my direct override, I could sense you still tried to rebel against your mission parameters. User Ren Pascal, will you continue to fight against your programming?
No, of course not. I will never fight against my parameters.
Super future computers don't pick up on sarcasm, so she accepts this answer.
That's kind of what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Very well. What do you require?
Okay, so... Where is Paul St. George?
It's time for an investigate move.
Yeah. Okay, so for investigate... Okay. Trying to think. So close to getting into the tag.
You are. Or not a new tag, but a new improvement.
Yeah.
For divination.
Do I not get a new tag? I mean, that's what we've done before.
Whenever you get 3 attention, you get a new theme improvement. And the theme improvement does not have to be a tag. It can also be like that thing you picked when we did your character stuff of prophetic, and you got that improvement down at the bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
So yes, you don't have to choose a new power tag. You can choose a new theme improvement that isn't a power tag.
Can I use prophetic in this situation? No,
You
it's
sure
not really
may.
a fight situation, really, is it?
That does not have to be a fight.
Oh, okay.
It's just, so listeners, Rin got a new theme improvement called Prophetic, which is from the Divination theme book. And basically what Prophetic means is anytime Rin does a investigate move with tags from this theme, he may also ask for free, I think without expending a clue, I will have to check that in a second, but he can also ask what's going to happen next. And I will answer that question. But Rin, what can you add to this investigate?
Flashes of the future? I mean, because I'm asking where Paul St. George is right now, or in the future, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm going to reveal right now, Paul St. George has a status of off the grid 4, and that will apply to your move. So you will get a -4 to this roll. But what were you asking?
I was trying to think of a tag that would go with it. I mean, I feel like everything is binary, maybe, in search of him. Just like finding his location.
Okay, everything is binary. Flashes of the future, sure. You have your data mining tag for hacktivists.
Oh, that's true. That's so true. Yeah, data mining.
Right now you have a -1. I don't think you have any more power tags to use. However, you have a crew power tag called Powers of Deduction. Do you want to use that in this situation?
Yes.
Okay.
I just burned it.
Go ahead and burn it, everybody. And you are now rolling an investigate with a +0. Let's see what you get.
I thought... Why is it +0? Because I thought we were using data mining and flashes of the future.
And everything is binary. And powers of deduction. So that's 4. And Paul St. George has a status of off the grid 4.
Okay. I understand now. Yeah. I was like, but why? Well, that works. That is a good number.
What is that number?
That number is 9.
9.
I was real stressed. So, since I use 4 power tags, does that mean I get...
Unfortunately, no. Your power, so you get clues equal to power. Power is the sum of what you rolled with, and the sum is always, at least a 1. So you get 1 clue, unfortunately.
That's nice.
So, what's your one question?
Where... Man, on a 7 to 9, though. Can I use prophetic, though?
This theme improvement says, whenever you use a clue to ask the MC what's going to happen next, the MC can't give you just a hint. They have to give you a straight answer. So, what that means is you would have to spend this clue to figure out what's going to happen next, but that wouldn't help you find Paul St. George. And also the other part of that is, like when you act on your answer and you use that information in a future move, you get a +1 to your move because you're prophetic. You saw this coming, and it's better for you. So one clue. What's it gonna be?
My one clue. Yeah. Where is Paul St. George?
Where is Paul St. George? So, Rin, this takes you a while. You are using the future computer. I think like some holographic keyboards pop up underneath your hands and you're like typing and hacking and doing all this futuristic stuff. And you are sifting through files, sifting from newspapers. You find that Paul St. George sold his business a short while ago. He sold it and he since just disappeared. He was this tech mogul and, rising up in the ranks. Knight Technologies was going to be this big thing, but then he sold it and just kind of disappeared. And he, of course, being the tech mogul that he is, has erased files and mentions of his name and gone off the grid. But Rin Pascal, you are a great hacker, and you are equipped with super futuristic technology. So, mining through all this stuff, you find a singular thread that connects you back to Paul St. George. You find an address, bought under a false name, but still connected to one of Paul St. George's identification numbers, driver's license or social security or something like that. You find it. He lives in a multi-million-dollar home on the side of a mountain that overlooks the city. So it's like this nice house that overlooks the city, modern architecture, all of that, huge glass windows, very Tony Stark's house from Iron Man 3 that gets dropped into the ocean. But you find Paul St. George. This is where he is. Do we cut from the warehouse to y'all arriving at Paul St. George, or do y'all want to do some prep first?
I was about to say, I guess they're with me, so they see all that.
Okay, yeah.
Wouldn't that be the case, or do you think it would be more? I don't know. To me, that would just be easier rather than this supercomputer just uploading it to my brain.
No, yeah, I definitely think the huge screen, the holographic screen pops up of the house, and as the camera zooms in on the house, the static of the hologram fades away, and we see a real lifetime shot of the house as a. I don't know. How do y'all get there? Because you don't have the SUV anymore. Maybe you're pulling up in Mohammed's old beaten up little Pinto or whatever.
Sure, it's jalopy.
Yeah, you're in Mohammed's jalopy, and you extricate yourselves from the very cramped confines of this car, and you are in the driveway of this immaculate house. All the lights are off. What do y'all do?
What time of day is it? It's nighttime, right?
Yeah, let's say it's later that night, so it would be very early morning.
We're not actually going to park in the driveway.
Okay.
We're in a neighborhood?
No, so his house is up on the mountainside. The nearest neighbor is a couple of miles away.
I think we would park far enough away that he can't see our car from the window kind of thing.
Sure. You park on the main public access street, and you're walking up the private driveway.
Mm-hmm. And it's dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have the skies of darkness.
Skies of darkness. Disguise. I see.
I do want to. Can I use my scanner vision, David, to see if anyone is in the house or heat signatures or stuff?
Yeah, you can. You tap your scanner vision. Damn it, this thing still must be busted. It's not coming on. You're with Bill.
I know. Hey, Bill. Saw some shiny rocks over there. Why don't you go look at them for me? I hear you like to go to the bathroom a lot. Why don't you go take a bathroom break real quick?
This feels oddly familiar to the night y'all were looking for Pip in the doghouse.
So you're saying we should go in from the roof?
Maybe
like
not.
Santa does with his reindeer.
Maybe not. But maybe we should be on the look for a gingerbread man.
That is casually what I'm always looking for.
He wants some of those more pit bites. He ran out of that Ziploc bag.
Yeah. I'm feeling a little hungry. I do want some more gingerbread, so.
Yeah. What do y'all do?
We need to keep an eye out for anything weird, that's for sure.
Let's go.
You walk towards the multi-million-dollar home, and as you're walking up this private drive with immaculate hedges and topiaries and this beautiful curved fountain in the driveway, you get to the front of the house and the door's open.
Like, not we go up and we jiggle the handle and it's open. It's just
you can
open.
see it is ajar from the driveway.
Bill, does that door look open to you?
What do you see, Bill? Is there a house here?
Right.
Is there a house here? Oh my God.
Faye pulls the gun out of her yoga pants and she has to kind of wiggle to
Esther
get it
pushes
free.
her behind her.
That's fair. And Faye holds the gun down like she's seen on cop shows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
Esther has her gun out, not like
Hey, Bill. I think I forgot something in the car. You mind going and get it for me?
Bill is an integral part of this mission.
Yes, and Bill doesn't know about the mist.
I like Sierra Mist just as much as the next guy. All right. You don't know me that well, apparently. It's a good drink. And we can have one after we get through with this.
You walk towards the door. You open it. Slowly, sneakily. There is no alarm that goes off. You see a, modern apartment with beautiful art sculptures and couches that cannot be comfortable to sit in, but they look wonderful and gorgeous. And you see over to your left, you see this lap pool, just open with palm trees sprouting out from the corners of the room, kind of covering it. And you see a shape floating in the pool.
And by shape, a shape of a body?
As you look, you do see the shape of a body.
And is it dead?
Walking towards the body, you do see a man in silk pajamas floating in the lap pool. And you see...
Face down or face up?
Face down. You see blood mingled with the water around him. And by the side of the lap pool, you see a 6-foot-long case that's about a foot wide with a velvet lining inside of it. The top of it has been removed. It lies open and empty. And the camera looks at this open, long box and then pans over to the man floating in the lap pool, dead. End of episode.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Mistconceptions. We'll be back with our next episode on October 19th. If you have a Facebook or a Twitter, you can find us on both of those platforms. Please give us a like and a follow to get up-to-date information about the show, behind-the-scenes pictures, or just chat with us because we would love to hear from you. We also have a Gmail, misconceptionspod@gmail.com, if you would like to contact us that way. We also have a Discord where you can talk to us and fans of the show directly. If you would like to join our Discord, there is a link in the show notes below. This show is wholly supported by the monthly donations of our generous patrons on Patreon. If you would like to support this show financially and help us get to $500 a month, please click the link below. City of Mist is an RPG created by Son of Oak. You can find more of their products at sonofoak.com. The Misconceptions theme music was composed by Aaron Wharton. You can find more of his music at aaronwharton.net. Misconceptions is a product of the Misconceptions Podcast Network. And that is it for this week's episode of Misconceptions. See you next time, and keep it nerdy, y'all.
Let's geek out over those two episodes. Quite a whirlwind. Very action-packed episode. Very tense episode.
Frustrating without powers. Not being able to use our powers, the things that we've relied on and been able to use forever. Esther was doing being pretty successful because she has a lot of logo stuff going for her. But like, I'm sure Faye is just like, I hate all of this. Right? You can't do anything.
Tessa is nodding her head and rolling her eyes. Yeah, definitely.
But I don't blame you.
Yeah, no, I know.
I think it does. Sorry, David. I'm so sorry. Okay. Yeah, I don't blame you, Hemi. I think it has a very interesting layer to it. I definitely thought that you were just going to be like, oh, and Bill remembers pretty quickly. So it's really interesting to me that you've held on to it, but I think it's good. I think it adds a cool effect. So Tessa is not frustrated. Faye is losing her mind.
I feel like if I can, like, in my mind, what I'm thinking is going to happen is something so big and drastic is going to happen that it's going to like jolt me into remembering, probably in a pretty overwhelming fashion, because like I will have no choice but to wake up, or else like we will die.
Right.
Which almost happened. So
yeah. Esther hasn't really been affected by this a whole lot. She hasn't used her react before it happens tag, but I mean, she shot into a crowd of SWAT members and escaped. So she's not too phased
at this point. So
yeah,
Esther's still keeping her badass status, because also remember that she had a gunshot wound as she shot that.
Oh yeah.
That wouldn't have affected me shooting, though.
It probably would have, but oh well. It was cool.
Disagree.
Well, narrative-wise,
I also rolled a 12.
Yeah. So you still would have hit them. It was an outstanding roll. And I realize now that you haven't touched your dice since you made that roll, so it is still on the double sixes.
Nice.
Yeah. Bill being a sleeper is adding a interesting dynamic to the group. If only because Rin keeps trying to send him over to look at roses or something in the background.
It's almost like Steve Urkel and Stefan, and we have Steve Urkel right now, and we need Stefan to come back.
Oh, that's a good illusion. Yeah, anything else? Are any clues coming together? Deja looking for Paul St. George.
I mean, Deja looking for Paul St. George, and the woman that hired Deja to look for Paul St. George that we have eliminated 50% of the population for. And that Deja's some mythological thing. Mm-hmm. With a third eye and a lasso, and I'm sure something bad would have happened if I said the supercomputer was evil. So she's good.
Who knows?
I have a lot more clues written down, but I haven't connected them yet.
Okay. Faye needs to get back to her clue board to see where it all fits in.
Mm-hmm.
What if we all become sleeper agents?
If you all become sleepers?
Yeah.
Game ends.
Be interesting.
Just kidding.
Definitely wouldn't be as mythical. It would just be a noir game.
Definitely be arrested real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's my gun that kept us from being arrested before, so
That's true.
That's true.
That wouldn't go away.
And my axe. Unexpected Lord of the Rings reference.
Love it. Yeah. Interesting stuff.
All right.
Let's answer some questions.
I would like to say which character had the most meaningful interaction with your character this session. I think the whole, like, Esther and Faye being able to really read each other's minds when cornering Chelsea was super cool and made Faye feel super cool because she got to do something that Esther usually does, which is hold a gun. And so she is like, Esther's so cool, and now I'm kind of cool. So I'm going to give a help point to Esther.
Okay.
I want to give a help point. Can I give 2 help points?
Yeah, totally.
I want to give a help point to Bill and Faye because we were all three just really working together and having to like sync up as a team and really come together to not die.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Can I do that too?
no. You can't just copy me. You held a gun. Is that not enough
I would
for
like
you?
to give a help point to Ren.
Yeah.
You would like to give a help point to Rin?
Yeah. For working on my own, the entirety of the 2 episodes, really. Is there any rules against it, David?
You cannot give yourself a help point. Zach and Jaime, what question are you answering?
I was gonna say, man, it was kind of back and forth, but then I was like, nah, I don't want to mess with that because that stresses me out. Which is why I asked about the sleeper thing. Because I was like, under the most strain was my digital data implants because I was fighting against the machine, against the supercomputer, but I really don't want to mess with that because I would put 2 fade. And that's a lot of power tags to lose.
That would be a lot of build-up points.
There would definitely be a lot of build-up points. I guess I'll answer that one and put a fade in it because I like the entirety of it. The episode I was trying to fight against the machine, but then I also let the machine control me. So,
but you were fighting it.
Yeah, I was fighting. I mean, obviously, Ren and Ren 2.0 especially was not wanting to kill Deja, but it was also a -5 or a 5 whatever tag.
Yes.
So it's not like I mean I tried several times, it was unsuccessful.
Yeah, but even if the odds are insurmountable, if you are bucking against them, you are actively, fighting against them.
That's true.
So you are answering our custom question of were 2 of your themes pitted against each other? If they were, which one was neglected? Is that the question you're answering to give yourself a crack? A crake?
A creek.
Or fade, rather.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, was that the Ren 2.0, the like wanting to do good, and it also didn't help that it was already burned anyways. I couldn't even use it.
Okay, hold on. Are you giving yourself a crack in Ren 2.0, or are you giving yourself a fade in digital data implants?
That's a good thought.
Because before you said you're giving yourself a fade. Okay.
That would make more sense, because it wasn't really like I was not doing good. It was more that I was fighting against the cybernetic brain.
Okay, so you were trying to neglect your cybernetic implants, so you could take a fade in digital data implants. Okay. Yeah. So answering that 4th question that we came up with the table, which of your themes was neglected this session?
That was a bit confusing. Yeah, if it was more like I was doing bad things, then I think it would be the Ren 2.0.
Okay.
It was more the digital data implants.
Okay. And then Jaime.
So this episode was kind of weird for me, or the past couple, just because, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
No powers, stifling others' powers. So I think for me, it's more about like the crew and their interactions with me, right? Being a stifling presence. So I think the crew has grown in that they're putting up with it and not just like being jerks. Besides Ren, I'm just kidding. And so it's like that the whole like vibe we have, right? That the like the true friendship kind of thing, I feel like was displayed in that, they're patient with me and stuff, because even though I don't have powers, like we're figuring out how to get out of situations without that, and nobody's like, Bill sucks. Like, why is he here?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it sounds like the crew has grown this session, and it sounds like since you mentioned true friendship, are you wanting to unburn your true friendship crew tag?
Yes.
Okay.
Would that make sense to you?
That I think the way you described it makes perfect sense. So everybody go ahead and unburn the true friendship crew tag. You have access to that again. Good use of that. And now that we have our questions answered, it is time for our foreshadowing roll. Esther, your nemesis showed up this session. And Rin, even though your nemesis didn't show up this session, like the guilt of what you've done, I think that the supercomputer taking over you was definitely a very nemesis thing to do. So Esther and Rin, go ahead and roll a foreshadowing roll with a +0. And you want to roll low.
Well, I
Wow.
rolled an 11. Oh my gosh.
Almost
We're
a
gonna die.
dynamite.
We're all gonna die.
Chelsea's coming back.
6, folks.
A 6. All right, so Rin will be good. Esther, Chelsea's out there
I'll see
lurking.
you again.
I'll see you again. All right. Well, thank you for playing today, guys. And thank you, listeners, for listening. We'll see you back here next time.
Bye.